Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on issue 9 of Ultimate X-Men. Now, as you know, Ultimate X-Men was that next lineup after Ultimate Spider-Man, and Ultimate X-Men consists of 100 issues with different writers. The first one being Mark Millar, and like I said in my previous video, that he only saw 2 of the X-Men films and never really the comics. And the cover mainly has Ultimate Iceman skating around town. So let's get on with the story. It starts off with an early installment version of Nick Fury, who's meant to be completely different from his later appearances. And yeah, I know with early installment awareness, there's going to be early things about characters and so forth. So of course, mainly heads off to India to deal with a group of scientists who violated the Superhuman Test Ban Treaty, and of course heads into a sort of Indian temple, and we kind of see him saying, "Okay, let's get this show on the road. Welcome to Bilala Temple, my friend. House of prayer dedicated to Kakashmi, goddess of prophecy and good fortune." And right away, we know Fury knows something's up, has to deal with a group of armed guards, but uses his special sunshades to basically kill them, heads off into the sort of weapon area. And this is where we see how this version of Nick Fury in his early appearance was more of a kind of James Bond-esque kind of character, and right away uses off his special skills, takes out the sort of armed guards, uses his special gun and that. But right away, we see how even Ultimate Nick Fury knows whatever they made is beyond dangerous. And we see how at the Weapon X HQ, we see how Ultimate General Ross talks with Ultimate Colonel Rave. And even, yeah, Ultimate General Ross is a bit surprised about Ultimate Colonel Rave kidnapping half the X-Men. And it's even clear that what they're doing is beyond inhuman. And even Ultimate General Ross says, "For God's sakes, John, are you out of your mind?" But yeah, even he knows that this is going to get worse and worse. But even Colonel Rave tries to justify his actions, talking about the original teams that he had, and even calls Sabretooth a poor man's Wolverine, with him saying, "What? I'm sorry, Sabretooth, but it's true." And we even see how Ultimate Dr. Cornelius performs some experiments on Ultimate Beast, and even is great that Wolverine's back, but Ultimate Colonel Rave points out that Wolverine wasn't really captured, and this is where Ultimate General Ross says, "Oh, for God's sakes, Rave, can't you do anything right? Just do your job and get Fury back. I miss the intelligent conversation." And we even see how in their cells, how, yeah, Rogue and even Ultimate Juggernaut duke it out with the Ultimate X-Men, and even calls them betrayers and so forth. But we even see how Cyclops points out the President is going to get wind of this. But even Ultimate Juggernaut points out the President has no self-awareness about this. And we see how Ultimate Jean tries to kind of link her mind with Ultimate Kurt, and even shows, yeah, Kurt back to his childhood place, and even tries to kind of get him on their side. And right away, we even see how Ultimate Sabretooth brings Ultimate Hank forward, and this is where, yeah, he's now turned to his iconic blue form, courtesy of Ultimate Dr. Cornelius. And this is where, in India, we see how Ultimate Sabretooth gets the team ready, and even plans to use special bombs planted inside the head if they turn traitor. And even Ultimate Sabretooth is asked by Ultimate Colossus where the teams are, but they're handling where Fury started his mission originally. And we see how in Weapon X, even Colonel Rave has kind of made up that Charles Xavier died, but even wants to kind of use the whole Cerebro system, and even, yeah, tries to capture who's left of the Brotherhood, but even wants to start with Ultimate Wolverine. And right away, we see how Ultimate Wolverine is still looking for Weapon X. And this is the story. So I think issue 9 isn't a bad start, but there is some early installment awareness with Ultimate Nick Fury's original appearance before being updated to Samuel Jackson's appearance. And it's also clear that with this idea for a Weapon X thing, in this idea seems a little more inspired by Suicide Squad, and it's also clear that Mark Millar probably wanted to do something a little different with the whole Weapon X thing, but going with a more Suicide Squad feel from DC Comics. So I think it's not a bad introduction to what we're getting. It's clear Mark Millar is using a lot more inspiration from other comic media, just not too much from the X-Men movies this time. So I think this one definitely deserves a thumbs up. Definitely good, definitely redeemable after last issue, and definitely fixes a lot of things over the previous one. So, comic book reviewer here, signing out.